And I'm live. Whoopie-doo. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can. I don't know why I get these stupid pop-ups in the right-hand corner. Stupid laptop. There we go. Yeah, so we just did our walk, right, Gab? We did it right before the rain. It hasn't rained here in almost 6-7 weeks, maybe, if that. I mean, it's been pretty brutal. So everything, we were kind of in a mini drought. So that is helping. We're getting a good rain today. Thunderstorm in the morning. Thunder. So if I have to leave because of thunder, well, now you know. Yeah, only in Florida you can get, an 8 o'clock a.m. thunderstorm. Ugh. It's silly. So, the Leafs pulled it out. I can't believe it, right? Go Leafs, right? Big game again. I was hoping they would play Tampa, so me and my daughter can go see a playoff game in Tampa. But they are playing in Sunrise, and I think the schedule's off where we're not even going to be able to try to go. But my very good friend Steven, who is a St. Louis Blues fan, is praying to all his bookie gods that the Blues win tonight. And he says, if the Blues play Toronto, I'm flying you out here and we're going to go see a Stanley Cup game. I go, oh boy. I go, okay. Because he lost the bet, so now he's looking to back his way out. Because I said we were going to win a series this year. At least a series. Diet birch beer. Greatest thing on earth. It really is. So, I'm really at a weird point. And if somebody can just let me know that I'm not talking to myself, I'd appreciate it. I'm making the final cuts. And this is the hardest part. Because I'm looking around and going, well, I don't want to get rid of that. No, I don't want to get rid of that. And I know I have too many war games. I mean, when you have the same theater over and over and over again, how many times can you fight the Battle of the Bulge? Well, quite a few, I guess. And I'm looking around, I'm going, well, I want to keep that. That's a 2-player game, but, when the grandkids get bigger, maybe I'll play it with them or do something with them, on a rainy day or something like that. Because there's no way I'm doing this forever. And, you start scratching your head. Well, the toughest thing is the big games. I mean, the big games. King of Death Monster, we all know I did a couple of videos on wondering, what I should do with that. There's no way I'm getting rid of Aeon Trespass. I really like that. Boy, that thunder's really rolling up. My ultimate zombie box. I mean, if you're going to play a zombie game, zombies is fun. And when you can have all 52 billion sets into one. Ogre is a big box game. You don't want to get rid of that. And now I'm looking at Primal, and I'm going, okay, there's one lot. Primal. All right. The other one I'm having a real tough time with is Cthulhu Death May Die. Now, when I had COVID and I had it, I was on death's door, and the biggest problem I had was I did not sleep for almost like 2 weeks, and I mean sleep very minimal. And there are a couple games that helped me get through that because when you are that sick, you need to focus in on something. So I decided to paint Cthulhu Death May Die, and I painted that. And what was the other one? Chronicles of Drungor, which is a game that I really like. I painted that thing. Destinies, I painted that. And this is all while I was sick, because I would start painting, like, you know, I would go out into the studio because I was coughing so much and I didn't want to keep my wife awake. And I wanted to stay away from her. And this is when we were at the other house. And I would just sit out there because, number one, I needed to sit up and I didn't need to lay down. And I'd start painting 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would paint all the way till like 5 in the morning, night after night. And I was looking for things to paint. And I painted all that stuff. I got rid of Destinies. I kind of wish I didn't. But those other two are kind of personal because it reminds me of how sick I really was and how bad it was for me. And how I worked my way through it. Because I got sick after the big scare and all that stuff. Because we stayed home. We didn't go anywhere. And my daughter-in-law's mother was in Buffalo, and she came down and gave it to my daughter, who gave it to the kids, who gave it to my wife, who gave it to me. And I was more, I had never been sick prior to that. And, the last time I was sick, God, it was, I think me and my wife had just met. And I've told that story before, the chicken soup story. And I was able to get through it, and those games became personal. But now I'm looking, if you're going to keep a certain amount of games and you're going to cut it down, maybe Cthulhu Death May Die goes. All right. Do you keep Arkham Horror? Absolutely. And I'm talking the second edition, not that thing that they came out with later. And I'm like, okay, can I part with that? And then I look at it and I go, so that might be another lot. And like I said, and I was going to start it this week, but because I just want to be done with the auctions and finish doing everything out here like I'm trying to do. It's easier to do the board games. The war games, because I'm really getting it down. Hey, a couple of submarine games, a couple Battle of the Bulge games, a couple Stalingrad games, a couple of this. And there's certain games that do a lot of different things. Some futuristic stuff, some of this, some of that. Arab-Israeli wars, space wars, things like that. Okay, so now we're starting to nail that down a bit. Normandy, things like that. And I'm going, okay, I can get rid of this, I can get rid of that. I'm not a big Vietnam guy, get rid of that. I don't care about some Pacific battle that I don't care about. And I have to think to myself, is my grandson going to grow up and want to do this? Blah, 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 blah. There's things that are personal that I won't get rid of. Scorched Earth, Second Front. There's a story behind those. And as much as I love those games, I leave them sealed in memory of someone. And and then if I'm going to play Ancients, well, I've got Command and Color, which stands above things. But as I start really trying to press myself, it's so hard. So the really good stuff, I think we got 4 or 5 lots that we're going to do, and then I just want to be done for a while. I want to cut this table in half, rebuild it, and just get things where I want to come out here. Because right now, I just don't even want to come out here. I just look at it, it's a mess. I've been filming stuff. I'm enjoying the video game stuff that I'm doing. This week was, I didn't put anything up because I had to do some Kickstarter stuff, which, boy, that Kickstarter stuff is rubbing me the wrong way. Like I said in the video that I did on Friday, it almost feels like people are so desperate that they're willing to rob Peter to pay Paul. Hey, let's run a Kickstarter. Well, there's all kinds of economic stuff going on. What, you're going to run a Kickstarter now? I mean, it's a great risk. But, business has to go on, I guess. Or is it, holy cow, maybe we can get some money to keep our doors open and then we'll worry about it later. That could be it too. And, a lot of these things can be really kind of shady in a way. And it's sad because, there's always somebody taking advantage of something away from really good people. There have been some major cuts. I know I have a few friends in the business who have said, holy shit, we just lost half our pay. Half your pay. If somebody came to you and went, yeah, we're going to cut your pay in half. If you want to stay on, stay on. If you don't, hey, no problem. I mean, what do? You stay on until you find something else? Do you go into panic mode? Yeah. Strange times. And, the best thing you could do is just weather it, do the best you can, talk. We all talk about things, and that's where, I'm coming in and I'm thinking how I'm going to do things and so forth and so on. And like I said, I'm not going to do this forever, and I know what I want to do afterwards. I want to concentrate on my grandkids, slim this down enough where, and he's becoming one of those kids that is just a genius he's a genius at no matter what he does. He's way too smart. And the big thing right now is Pokemon. Okay, Pokemon. And my buddy Steve, who owns a card place, if you get a chance, I think it's called Trading Card Market now. You can go over there. You can get anything you want, okay? And it's great prices. It's the old Steve from Miniature Market. So you're going to get all those things that you want. Because I love Steve. Steve's we've stayed friends forever, and will always be friends. And I got to tell this too, and I hope he doesn't get mad at me. So he hates the Leafs. Okay, he's originally from Buffalo. So if you're from Buffalo, I mean, the first thing you do is you hate Toronto. Okay, especially in hockey. And he sends me over this thing, and he bet a certain amount of money on Toronto to win. I go, you hate Toronto. Why are you doing that? He goes, well, because if I lose, I feel good. What? He goes, if Toronto loses, I get the satisfaction that Toronto lost against Ottawa. I go, okay, couldn't you just read for it? He goes, no, because if Toronto wins, at least I got some money coming in from it, and I can deal with the pain. Okay, Steve. You're the one that anything you touch turns to gold, so Toronto won. Toronto won. And he made a good amount of money. Unbelievable. Ugh. And hey, Monster, how you doing? Everything's good, thank you. Joseph Johnson, you are not talking to yourself. I was able to watch live this morning. Well, that's cool. Thank you so much. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. All that other happy horse shit. Getting back to my grandson. So Steve has always been good to me and anything, and we were talking about Pokemon. And I said, let me send some Pokemon stuff down. So, they had some stuff, and they made a nice little box for the kids, and he sent it down. So every time my grandson's good, he gets a booster, and he opens it up, and he sits with his father, and Pokemon, this is great, blah, 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 so forth and so on. Which reminds me, I got to find a binder, another binder for him, so he can collect his cards and move them around a little bit. And he started telling me about all the evolutions of the Pokemon and stuff like that. And I dealt with this 30-something years ago, okay, with my son, my daughter, and my oldest daughter. And now I'm dealing with it again. And you want to know something? I'm not any smarter for it. I'll see Charmander. I go, oh, I know Charmander. He becomes, Charmeleon and this one, that one, the basic ones. But now there's like 9 billion of these things, okay? And he knows them all. He sits there, and so I love, he's such a good kid. So I have my emulator, and I hooked it up, and I go, oh, he's gonna like this. So I started looking. I had my handheld emulator, my Batera, which you're gonna see a video on. I'm gonna be talking about, and you can get this at Amazon. It really brings a lot of things to life, which I think you'll really like, especially for my ROG Ally, which we'll explain all that when you'll see the video. So, oh, thank God, it's pouring. That is like music to my ears. Oh, we need the rain desperately. Just so we can get the grass to come up, and so the cows don't have to. I mean, we're going through hay like there's no tomorrow. So I sat him on my lap, and we started looking for, I went to the Game Boy emulator, and I said, okay, let's start with that. So we went. He goes, well, Pop, it's black and white. Okay, that's fair. I went to the advanced Game Boy Color. Put that in, right? Scroll down. It's all in Japanese. The games are in Japanese. Went over to DS. Nope. Games are in Japanese. So I've got another emulator with over 170,000 games on it. I think that one has everything on it. And I think we could play Pokemon Snap. And I think he would like that, because when you take pictures of them and then we go back and all that happy get out, that'll make him happy. So I think I'm going to try that today with him. I'll hook up my big joystick to it and everything like that. So my daughter, who I love dearly, okay, I gave her all my Resident Evil games, and we couldn't find one. And she's going, Dad, where's the one that you painted? Because you painted Jill. And I finally found it, and it's amazing. That's when you have too much stuff. And I went, okay, all right, I've got to suck it up, and I got to get rid of some stuff. But that goes down with her. She has that and all my talisman stuff, so that will always be with her, because one of the things that she always remembers is on the holidays, we would set up Talisman. And I don't mean set up Talisman, I mean set up Talisman on the big table, and the entire family would play for almost 12 hours. I mean, it's just, and that's why I can't stand that game. I mean, I like Talisman. I think it's fun. It's long. If you put everything together, you just sit there and you go, oh. But they came out with a new version of it, and I was going to get it, but I mean, I have everything for the other one, so why would I need it? We've got to sort through the boxes, though. That's one thing that we're going to have to do. Me and Little Miss, and just get everything kind of settled and everything like that. And she keeps looking for this one little princess, and I'm gonna have to. She asked me if I would paint it for her, so when she plays, she can have it all blanked out. I can do that. I still have the wherewithal to do that. So, is there life after YouTube? Sure is. Sure is. Will I still play stuff? Yeah, here and there. I think so. And it made me think about it, and I go, yeah, no matter what happens, I'll get this scaled down. I'll get this smart. The one thing that kicks my back end is Final Girl. And I love that game. One of my favorite games. But the problem is there was so much Final Girl, and it's every one of those little boxes. It's so easy to misplace them. I like that they came out with the big box sets. And when I went to the Dice Tower a couple of years ago, I went and got season 1 or whatever it was, all in the big box set. And I went, okay, cool. Then I've got season 2 and season 3 up there. And I've got to figure a way to store it properly. And just make sure that, it doesn't take up a lot of space, and, that things don't go flying and missing. All the little guys I painted, and girls, monsters and stuff, just stays in a certain area. My daughter loves the game. And just trying to, narrow things down and make things smart so I can come out here. We started cleaning out one of the corners, and of course I find, you find 10,000 Godzillas all over the place. It's the old 1954. Another 1954 version, which I love. Mecha Ghidorah. Grandkids around the table playing with them. Oh, look, the wings move. Eesh. And who can ever forget good old Space Godzilla, right? You gotta have a Space Godzilla. If you don't have Space Godzilla, you're not a Godzilla fan. Yeah. Get over there, boys. This one's a bank. But I got my other big one that I use for a bank. I fill that up, and then I cash it in, and I take my wife out to dinner someplace. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. The Leafs tomorrow start the battle of, they play the Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champions. They are not predicted to win this series, and I don't expect them to. But boy, if they do, and the Hurricanes beat the Capitals, my brother's up in North Carolina. I can't really travel, but boy, I was thinking about going up there. You can think about it, right? And going to a game with them. I'd probably be the way the Hurricanes are. I'd probably be one of 5 Toronto fans in there. And get booed every second. That's okay. It's okay. Let's go, Leafs. So we hope that they do well. I've got a lot of stuff to film. Did I film that already? Yes, I did. I filmed that. I did get some things that I have to film this week. which I gotta nail down. Then I'm just, it's just a matter of just finally, and I've got a whole stack of stuff here that I've got to film, including Metal Gear Solid. So I got plenty of stuff to film. I just gotta, I gotta get to it. I gotta get to it. My wife is going to Universal on Friday, so I'm trying to think what I want to do that day. Do I want to take it off from work? No, probably not. But, in the afternoon it'd be a good day to film everything that I need to film and just be done. Then do all the editing, blah, 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 blah. You know how that goes, folks. You know how that goes. And, this last cut is just so tough. Like, I have the defense of Procyon 3. I don't even know if that's any good. It's still in the shrink wrap. Just get rid of it? Out of sight, out of mind kind of thing? I got a ton of Aeon N that I don't play. Super Dungeon Explorer. Then I look at this shelf. I ain't touching. I've got to clean it up. But how do you get rid of Silent Death? Camel Cup's personal. It's not the greatest game, or Camel Up, whatever they want to call it, but I think it's Camel Cup. We always enjoyed that one. I'm never getting rid of anything from Chip Theory games. So I gotta nail everything down, get it into areas, get some of these, because I got huge holes in these shelves, thank God. And then, I'll worry about that storage unit, which is just, it's filled with games and comic books, which I went up to a comic book show yesterday, by accident. My wife had to go to the mall. And my daughter was with us because we were taking her to the K-Pot. She likes to eat K-Pot, okay? And she has had some health struggles, so we've gotten to the point where she's eating real good again and starting to put the weight back on. And I walked in, my daughter sees a sign on the thing and says, "Hey, there's a comic book thing here today." I go, "Oh, that's cool." So I go, "Well, you guys go to Victoria's Secret and Bath Body and Beyond and whatever dumb store there is. I'll just, walk around and take a look at things." And it wasn't very big or anything like that. But this one dude, he had like a dollar box. And he goes, "Buy 8. What did he say? Buy 8 and get 2 free or whatever. Well, I forgot what it was. How he figured it out. 8 for 5 or whatever the heck it was. So I was going through the boxes and I'm looking, and there's some older stuff, and there's stuff that I had and things like that. But I found Avengers 181. And I went, "Oh, yeah. George Perez." I go, "I don't care if I have this 5 times. I'm grabbing it." So I grabbed that for $1. And then I went through this other part, and there was all the EC comic books, the old reprints, which aren't worth anything. But I've been on this kick where I've been reading The Weird Science, Vault of Horror, Vault of Haunt, and things like that. And I've got the graphic novels, because I was never into the old 50s horror or mystery or true crime stuff. But I it's not that taste change. You discover things. When you're a kid, it's all about Iron Man, Captain Marvel, not the DC one, not Shazam, but you know, I liked all the cosmic stuff, you know, Doctor Strange, things like that, you know, and you know, you get all excited with that stuff, and then you look at the other stuff, and go, oh, I'm not interested. Well, now you want stories, okay, and these stories have a Twilight Zone feel to them, you know, the irony of things, you know, consequences of your actions, and so forth and so on. And I've been reading them and really enjoying them. So he had a big stack of them, and I said, oh, I'm going to take all these. All right, so there was like a 40 or 50 of them or something like that. So I took all those, took that, and I found a couple other things that were different, you know. Innovation used to make great comic books because they were hand painted and stuff like that, and Vampire Lestat and things like that. And so I grabbed some of that and I handed it all to the guy, and I go, I'll take this. So, you know, it turned out to be like 50, 60 bucks worth of stuff. You know, and I was like, well, so much, you know, so much for just walking around a little bit and checking it out. And you know, as I'm looking at it, you know, he's going through it. He goes, "Oh, he found it." He turns to his wife. He found it. He goes, "Can we take a picture of you of this for social media?" I go, "Okay, I guess." And I hold up the Avengers 181. He goes, "Yep." And I go, "What was that?" He goes, "Well, on our website, we told everybody that we were hiding this comic throughout in the boxes, and somebody was going to have to come find it." Oh, okay. I go, "Why?" he goes, he goes, "Well, this is the first appearance of Scott Lang." I go, "No, it ain't." He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Well, the origin of Scott Lang was done by John Byrne. It was a Marvel Masterpiece, I think, 30 something, and 30, you know, it was a 2-issue series. You know, he goes in and he steals Ant-Man's costume." He goes, yeah, but this is the first time he's with the Avengers." I go, "Okay, all right. I'll go. You know, I'll go with that." And oh boy, oh boy. Or maybe it was. Maybe I've got it backwards, and that the Scott Lang story was an additional story, but his real origin story was done by John Byrne. I remember that specifically. Um, and oh, and I found a run of Fantastic Four. Even though I had it, you know, I just, okay, let me just have it for reading copy. So they gave me you know, a box, you know, one of those little half, not the 300 count box, but the half boxes. So I put everything in there. And then my wife comes out of bath body, looks at me and sees me with the box. I go, "Oh boy, I'm in trouble. I'm in big trouble." She goes, "What you got there?" I go, "Oh, some comic books." "Don't you have enough of those?" I go, "Yeah, I do." I go, "Don't you have enough body perfumes?" She just turned and started walking away. So then I go into GameStop because I guess Oblivion came out, and I was wondering if they had a hard copy of it, which nobody has hard copies of anything anymore. And I was going to get it for the PlayStation. And just, you know, they remastered it and so forth and so on. And I'm looking. All of a sudden, this young kid comes in with this girl. And this girl starts giving him a hard time. She goes, "Why are we in here?" He goes, "Because I want to look at the video games." "The video game that you're looking for." He goes, "Yeah." "It comes out next week, right?" He goes, "Yeah." "So why are we in here?" She goes. All right. They couldn't have been more than 18 or 19. You know, the two of them. He goes, "Because I just want to look. I just want to look at some video games." And I'm sitting there, and I'm standing next to him, and I'm thinking to myself, dude, if ever I can give you some advice, it'd be run. Run now. Okay? Don't let anybody take away who you are. Right? So he pulls out a game because, this is a really good game. She goes, that's nice. She goes, that's nice. Do we have to stay in here any longer? He goes, come on, let's go. And I'm thinking to myself, this poor kid. This poor kid. I go, he looked like a kid that had himself together and whatnot, and could have had any girl that he wanted. And she was attractive. But, oh my God. I mean, if it starts now like that, and your kids, I mean, what are you doing? Run. 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 Men going their own way thing. Go. Run. Oh, the poor kid. I felt so bad for him. I go, how are you taking that? And then I walk out. Are you done in there? Your daughter was looking at me, and I go, holy shit. I can't run. But I wanted to shake the kid. I go, do you want to end up like me? Run. Run. Don't be like me. I've got 30 years. 30 some odd years into this thing. I go, I can't run. I'm not physically able to run anymore. You have a chance. Go. It's like, it'd be like one of those science fiction movies. I'll stay here with the bomb. Go. Save yourself. My wife's not bad. My wife's actually a saint, believe it or not. The shit I give her is off the charts. What are you doing? I'm sitting here. Why are you sitting there? Can we go do something? No, I'm just going over all the events of my life. And she'll go, what do you mean? What do you mean? I go, things I could have done better. She goes, like what? I go, well, the day I met you. She goes, what could you have done better? I go, not be there. Didn't go over very well. It was a joke. I guess it just didn't go over well. Maybe it's the delivery. I don't know. What do I know, right? What do I know? So I wanted to kind of keep this nice and short and sweet. It is going to rain all day, I believe, in Florida. Hold on. Let me double check. Because that'll change in a minute. I don't hear it out there. Rain for the next hour, it says. Okay, let's take a look at that. Hopefully it will rain at 9 o'clock. It will rain 100%. Oh, then the sun comes out. Why is the sun going to come out at 1 o'clock? We need tons and tons of rain. Oh, but Monday it's going to rain. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Good. All chances of rain. That's all I want to see. Rain, rain. Perfect. Then again, this thing is so stupid, it's ridiculous. It says now. Who knows? As long as it just keeps raining. We are so desperate for rain. I had the kids out there doing a rain dance. Well, no, actually, Emmy was singing. She was singing. She goes, you know that song? I go, well, what's that, Em? She goes, Rain, Rain, Go Away? I go, yeah. She goes, how about if I change the lyrics and sing it different so the rain comes? She's 5. I go, that's a pretty good idea. Why don't you try that? That'd be pretty cool. I'd appreciate that. Give it the old go, kid. These kids. Too smart nowadays. And then there's other kids that I see that they can barely formulate a sentence, and they're actually older than the girls. I mean, than my two grandkids. And I'm like, what's happening here? And it's a lot of kids, but my grandkids, they're like, yeah, every grandparent thinks their kids are special, but these two kids got it down, and they're pretty smart. And hopefully that translates into later in life. They're not holding up liquor stores or anything like that. Life's a weird path, that's for doggone sure. So, my dear friends, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Wow, 40 minutes. I keep it nice and short. I'm going to finish getting everything together here. And I will be live this week. I didn't come on live this Thursday. We just had a lot going on. And I had to quickly take the girls, and I had a doctor's appointment. So I'll make up for it this week. We'll be on even more. Oh boy, right? Bet you can't wait. So we got a lot of stuff. Tomorrow we start our playthroughs. Okay, I think it's tomorrow. Yes. Or is it the 9th? It's the 9th. Every Friday, starting this Friday, is a taped playthrough. So we're starting to transition into that, where we're doing more playthroughs, okay, and showing you guys different things. So I think you'll really like some stuff that we got, that we are going to show you. So there you go. And of course, I got a ton of other stuff, and just keep cranking along, I guess. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday. And look for the auction this week, okay? It's the last one. It's going to be small but big stuff, if that makes sense. It's the Biggie Small version of an auction. There we go. All right. So, until next time, my dear friends, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And go Leafs tomorrow. And just take it a day at a time. Tomorrows aren't guaranteed. I love you all. Have a good weekend. Bye, everybody. This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints. Discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.